9:12 the next morning, my phone buzzed. Cash App request, $540. Your share of the catered Easter brunch, the same brunch I had been told not to attend. Maybe sit this one out, my mother had said 3 days earlier. You always make things tense. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Then I looked at the faded recipe card tucked beneath a ceramic salt jar beside the stove. My grandmother's handwriting leaned gently to the right, browned around the edges from decades of flour and butter. She had believed every table grew larger by making room for one more chair. Somewhere along the way, our family had learned the opposite. I opened Cash App. Instead of declining the request, I sent $540. My note read, "Didn't break bread, not breaking bank." Then I set the phone face down. For the first time in years, my heartbeat slowed instead of racing. The funny thing about being the difficult person in a family is how much invisible work you often keep doing. Nobody noticed because invisible things rarely receive applause. My Prime account still paid for household deliveries to my parents' address. The grocery subscription had remained linked after my father retired because it was easier. My card sat quietly inside 3 different shopping apps. Every month I meant to untangle everything. Every month I convinced myself it wasn't worth another argument. That morning, it suddenly was. I logged into Amazon, moved their address, removed their devices, signed out every shared television, changed the password. Next came Instacart. The family account disappeared with 3 taps. There was no dramatic satisfaction, just the strange calm of finally putting away someone else's dishes after years of cleaning up dinners you never enjoyed. I wasn't punishing them. I was simply leaving the room they'd insisted I wasn't in. Monday passed without a message. Tuesday morning felt almost peaceful. Rain tapped softly against the apartment windows while coffee steamed beside the old recipe card. I answered work emails, watered the herbs on the balcony, almost forgot Easter had happened. Then my phone rang. I let it go to voicemail. A text followed immediately. What did you do? Another. We can't order groceries. Then another. Prime isn't working. I waited an hour before replying. I separated my accounts. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, returned. We've always shared them. I looked around my quiet apartment, the bookshelf I'd assembled alone, the couch I'd carried upstairs with a neighbor's help, the chipped blue mug nobody else liked. There was something oddly comforting about rooms built from choices instead of obligations. Yes, I answered. Also always shared my wallet. Her response came faster. This isn't like you. I almost laughed. No, it wasn't. The old version of me apologized before speaking. The old version paid bills to avoid uncomfortable conversations. The old version translated silence into responsibility. This version simply closed subscriptions. That evening, my younger cousin Avery called. I probably shouldn't say this, they admitted. The hesitation in their voice sounded painfully familiar. You don't have to. No, I do. Silence stretched between us. Then Avery sighed. When your mom said you weren't invited, people looked uncomfortable. Nobody argued. I closed my eyes not because it hurt, because it confirmed something I'd spent years trying to dismiss as imagination. They still ate brunch? Yeah, and nobody asked where I was? Another pause. One aunt did. What happened? They changed the subject. Outside, rainwater slid slowly down the glass. Sometimes betrayal isn't loud. Sometimes it's everyone deciding not to finish a sentence. Wednesday afternoon, another message arrived. This one wasn't angry. It was almost frightened. We can't even get eggs. What did you do? I stared at it for a long time, not because I was deciding whether to answer, because of the word even, as though eggs had become the emergency, not exclusion, not rejection, eggs. I finally typed, nothing happened to your groceries. I stopped providing them. The phone stayed quiet until evening, then Dad called. His voice sounded older than I remembered. I guess we got used to you handling things. There it was, not an apology, but not denial either. A simple sentence carrying years of unnoticed dependence. I guess you did. We never asked you to pay for everything. No, I said softly. You just stopped noticing that I was. Neither of us spoke. The silence wasn't hostile. Tired. Like 2 people finally standing in the same room after describing different houses for years. Saturday morning arrived bright and cool. I pulled open the kitchen drawer and found my grandmother's recipe card again. The corner had begun separating from the paper. Carefully, I pressed a strip of clear tape across the tear, not to make it new, just strong enough to last a little longer. My phone buzzed once more. Mom, I found your grandmother's casserole dish while cleaning. Would you like it? No apology, no explanation, just a question. A moment I imagined the dish sitting in the back of a cabinet all these years, surviving holiday after holiday while people slowly forgot why gathering had mattered in the first place. Yes, I replied. I'd like that, nothing more, nothing less. A week later, the casserole dish sat on my dining table beside fresh bread I'd baked for neighbors who were coming over that evening. Only 4 people, no catered brunch, no elaborate decorations. Just warm food, mismatched plates, and chairs filled by people who had actually wanted to come. Before everyone arrived, I unfolded the faded recipe card one more time. Its edges were still worn. Its crease was still visible. Some things aren't repaired by pretending they were never damaged. They're repaired by handling them differently. The family I came from had taught me how easily someone could be made to feel unnecessary. The life I was building taught me something quieter. A place at the table isn't measured by how much you contribute to the bill. It's measured by whether someone notices when your chair is empty.